I'm the Superintendent of Schools for the Bergen County Institute of Technology and Bergen County Special Services School District. Today's Leadership Spark is entitled Synchronicity in Leadership. I'm a firm believer that leaders are rarely born, but made over time, and circumstances allow that to take place. I do agree with Latin writer Publius Syrus when he said that anyone can hold the helm of a boat when the sea is calm. It is the life and work experiences that shape leaders and their respective philosophies. Leaders are also shaped by the people with whom they encounter and work. They're also shaped by the social connections and social networks to which they are associated. In fact, I agree wholeheartedly with UK historian Niall Ferguson, who noted in his book, The Square and the Tower, that the more social networks and individuals connected to, the smaller the degrees of separation, namely more closer to 2 or 3 degrees of separation rather than the typical 6 degrees. These points lead me to 2 stories in my life which account for the power of synchronicity and being at the right place at the right time. We all have stories which we've added to our leadership toolbox and that give us confidence in pathways we have taken. My first story relates to 7 years when I was in Rome, in Italy, as a student. I had the good fortune to volunteer for the Sisters of Charity, otherwise known as Mother Teresa's Sisters. I was volunteering at a local food and clothing pantry where I learned one of the greatest lessons of my life and has shaped how I see people today. I was approached by a local homeless person while at the pantry who was in need of a pair of sneakers. I figured out his size, went into the huge closet, and found a pair of brand new Nike Jordans. I was so happy for the man, as I myself could not afford them, but thought this would be great for this man. I brought out the sneakers to the man, presented them to him, only to have him push them away as I offered them to him. The man turned around and then left. I felt dejected and disappointed. The man turned down one of the most expensive sneakers. I myself couldn't even wear them because I couldn't afford them. They were free. I couldn't believe it. Around the corner comes Mother Teresa, who just so happened to be visiting her sisters that day. She looked up to me, as you know, she's very, very short. She looked up to me and said, "Son, why are you looking so troubled?" I told her the story. She then said to me, and I'll never forget this, "My son, remember that all people have their dignity. Next time, allow the person to go in and pick out his or her own sneakers." I left there thinking how selfish and unconnected I was. I need to accept people for who they are and not what I want them to be, to lead them to the opportunities and to allow them to choose. I also learned the importance of paying it forward and taking the high road where there's less traffic there. Sometimes we do our best work by leading from the back so that others can shine and be their very best. Sam Walker aptly captures this in one of the titles of his chapters in his book, The Captain Class, A New Theory in Leadership. The chapter title reads, Carrying Water, the Invisible Art of Leading from the Back. Says a lot. I believe that great leaders have to understand what it means to serve and to understand what it means to be humbled. It makes for better character and allows one to connect to others for whom they are and will provide an understanding and responsibility behind leadership. The second story relates to a crossroads in my own professional life that I came upon in a career choice. I had started my own financial advisory business as an independent broker and was at the same time an assistant principal. After 2 years of marriage, my wife one day looked at me and said, "Chris, you have to make a decision in your life, and I will support you either way, but you need to follow your passion, to throw yourself into your financial business, all in, or in education, all in. You either follow the money or you shape and influence lives." I made a decision that day, and I never looked back. Obviously, I sold my book of business to a colleague, and I continued my studies and earned my doctorate following my passion, that of education. I became a high school principal and then a superintendent, and I've been in a position to create opportunities for staff and students ever since, and feel very blessed. I have found that the more one follows his passion and dedicates time for a greater good to help others, and share his or her talents to create opportunities for others, the more one has life satisfaction, and the more that other doors open that provide rich experiences for one personally. Teachers and administrators all have that file of thank you notes for having made a difference in the life of a child or a family. Leaders embrace synchronicity. They are where they need to be at a given time and are all in. They are the best at the moment because of who they are and who they want to be and how they want to serve others. Leaders have a higher purpose. Leaders many times lead from behind because synchronicity presents itself. Leaders focus on pushing others to be better selves and to get them to stretch, and in so doing so helps to define over time who the leader is and what that leader ascribes to as his belief structure. Synchronicity in leadership allows individuals to tell their stories, much like I did today on 2 samples, so that by sharing a piece of one's journey, someone else may be just inspired. Some questions to ponder for today. Look back at your life as if a book. What are some of the stories you can tell that have shaped who you are as a leader or educator? Think about the people who have influenced your leadership style and philosophy. What was their story? And what was it in their story to help shape your view of leadership today? And last but not least, here's the real question. Are leaders born or made, or both, and why?